100 also, is there like anything else?
All right, so this isn't you guys. This is you guys. Perfect. All right, guys. So what did y'all say for this? What's the deal with Dewey Dale? Okay, so we know at this point what's going on with her, as Corey calls her stomach issues. Okay. What's going on with old Dewey Dale here?
She's pregnant.
Okay.
She is. She can be pregnant.
Yeah. So she's pregnant. And who is the baby daddy?
Lace.
Yes, Lace. And this is the last section that y'all read, and so let's see. Let me flip to it really quickly to kind of. So she, there's this whole. What?
I couldn't spell pregnancy.
Oh, it's okay. There's this whole issue, guys, and throughout all of this, and obviously what's happened is they've gone all the way to about where Samson's farm is, and we're going to talk about Samson's section today. But what have they discovered? Is there any way across the bridge there?
Not at all.
No. Okay. So they're going to have to go the bridge, the same bridge that Whitfield came through. Okay, which is the bridge they were going to have to avoid anyways. But the other bridge is down. I mean, basically, there's no way to get across. Okay. So Toll's Bridge is the one that they're going to have to eventually cross. And we know that Dewey Dale doesn't want them to bury Addie at New Hope. Did y'all catch on to that? That there's like a New Hope that she could, like a graveyard that she could be buried at. It's only 4 miles away. But everyone is intent on taking her to Jefferson. Okay? Why does Dewey Dale want to go to Jefferson? Yes, so she's using that excuse. She's saying that it's because it's where her mom wants to be, but we know the way that she wants to speak to Peabody and the way that she really is trying to talk to a doctor. We can kind of speculate here that there are some hidden reasons. And what y'all discover is that every character has a specific reason why they want to get to Jefferson.
We have the teeth. So right now we know Anne wants his teeth, right? Dewey Dale needs her pregnancy fixed. And did we hear anything about Jewel? I feel like we knew something about Jewel.
Yeah, we don't know anything about Jewel yet. Cash's intentions. What do y'all think? Do y'all think he'll have pure intentions in the end?
He's definitely going to.
Okay, maybe pure and good intentions.
Oh no.
I only trust Darl. I feel like Cash is gonna snap.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think Cash is gonna be. I don't think Daryl's gonna die, but I think Cash is gonna be someone to kill another character.
That could be
I
interesting.
think it's gonna be Cash.
Cash is gonna kill
That's what I was gonna say.
Jules gonna have a temper tantrum.
Okay, so y'all think that this chapter is a foreshadowing of a definite like killing that's
no.
gonna go on among the siblings?
Maybe.
Okay. What I want to do is I want to bring up a little bit of a sensitive conversation here, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't at least address what a lot of scholars say or think. Okay. So Dewey Dale, obviously, we talked about Faulkner with a lot of other characters. The regular text is her thoughts, right? And then we have the italicized text is like even deeper conscious, right? Her unconscious thoughts. So things that have happened to her, repressed feelings. Remember how we talked about the theme of the return of the repressed? It's almost as if these italicized thoughts are her repressed emotions that even she won't bring to the forefront of her mind. Okay, so we know she's talking about time. She's kind of mixing all of these things up. So what I want to read is her section on 121, the italicized part, okay? When I used to sleep with Vardaman, I had a nightmare once. I thought I was awake, but I couldn't see and couldn't feel. I couldn't feel the bed under me, and I couldn't think what I was. I couldn't think of my name. I couldn't even think I am a girl. I couldn't even think, nor even think. I want to wake up nor remember what was opposite to awake. So I could do that. I knew that something was passing, but I couldn't even think of time then. All of a sudden, I knew that something was in the wind blowing over me. It was like the wind came and blew me back from where it was. I was not blowing the room, and Vardaman asleep, and all of them back under me again, and going on like a piece of cool silk dragging across my naked legs. Okay, so again, there's a lot going on here. She's remembering a memory when she used to sleep with Vardaman. So obviously we know that they're very close, right? He's the one who, or she's the one who's the only one who really comforts him when his mother dies and is able to give him that hug. There's evidence that something else has happened, and it's not between
Is it Leif and
her and Vardaman. We can maybe surmise that this is her unconscious remembering a rape or something that has happened to her when she is young. Her hate for Darl might not stem just from the fact that he knows that she's pregnant. There could be some underlying things that has gone on when they were younger. So I don't really touch on that too much. Like, I'm never going to ask you a question about this, perhaps incest, right? That's what it would be. But to know that scholars do analyze it from that perspective. But there are some that say, no way, right? Darl is the hero of the story. He's the narrator. But we know that Faulkner likes to kind of play with all of those different literary
Is
lines.
Faulkner still alive?
No.
So we can't ask him.
Would that infer that both times that we know of would have been non-consensual on her part?
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe.
And Leif would still be the baby daddy though. wouldn't he?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because this would have happened a while,
Wow.
like when they were younger. So yeah, I mean, Faulkner's doing a lot of things with women and women during this time and consent, which I think is really beautiful for him to be able to expose, right? That this is, unfortunately, and I hope and I pray that none of us have experienced this, but we can't ignore it, right? It's a part of life and it's something that happens. And so it's interesting to think about Dewey Dale from that perspective and maybe give her a little more empathy, right, for what she's feeling and what she's going through, because she has probably experienced a lot. So again, I wanted us to kind of just touch on that. It is important to know about her and her character. And also too, if y'all notice when we get to Samson's chapter, Faulkner really highlights Rachel, his wife, and how she feels, and the way that Samson's talking about women too. And of course, the way Anne's and Addie's relationship are. This entire novel is a huge commentary on marriage, on partnership, on women and the way that they were treated. There's a lot going on with that. So just to be able to pay attention to that is significant. Again, I don't analyze Darl through that lens, obviously, in the school setting, but know that it is what scholars say could possibly be the point there. What do y'all think? Do y'all think it could be possible? Do you see that perhaps?
I don't think it was Daryl though.
Yeah, I can see it.
You could argue another character
After
too,
I read that
perhaps.
Because I feel like we're just taking the fact that she like wants to kill him. Like obviously, yes, that's
A
a huge thing.
big
That's a
decision.
big like.
That's a bold statement.
But do you think that she would just want to kill him and literally be staring at her brother and physically want to stab him and fantasize about killing him just because he knows that she's pregnant?
Also, the fact that it's in the same chapter, she's talking about that.
Yeah.
It is possible, and also given what we know about all of the characters in this thing, it's a thing of like there can't be one golden character.
Totally.
It's like it's impossible in literature and in life to have anything perfect. And so-
Except Superman.
Right. And also
Right,
too, you
except for
understand too the
No, yeah.
stereotypes. We talked about how the Southern Gothic really exposes Southern stereotypes. And what is one of the ones that are kind of the worst and the ickiest thing about the South that people say about Southerners?
Incest.
Incest. You know, you marry
Yeah,
your
so that's
cousin.
about that.
Right.
Sounds good.
So again, exposing that stereotype, and also not just, I mean, there are truths to stereotypes too, and that kind of badness that's
Yeah.
existing.
In Alabama, it's legal to marry your cousin, which is gross.
Is it still?
Yeah.
Actually, in a lot of states it is. In South Carolina it is too.
Nice.
It's like your second cousin though.
Okay.
Oh, that
Anyways.
doesn't matter.
So why do you know?
So for this question here, yeah, what did y'all say about Addie and Dewey Dale's relationship? Do y'all think that they were close?
I said I do think we're close. I think
She
the
made
problem.
it seem so disconnected from the dad.
Yeah, Addie never talked to them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they did seem close only because the beginning chapter was Dewey that was fanning her, but I think Addie was too like knowing she was about to die. She was too upset about that losing her whole family to want to talk to them.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I don't know the answer to this, and maybe at the end we can come back to that and see what y'all think. I don't know that we get a straight answer. I also don't know that there's ever any right reaction to losing your mother at 17 and the way you would react, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see with Dewey Dell. But do y'all see how there's so many layers to her for sure? And she is a really complex character. She's more than just a girl who got knocked up in the woods, right? She has depth to her, and she has pain for sure. So we'll see about that. All right. So, anyways, go to your section summaries really quickly. Section 26, we have Anne's. And again, he's just thinking about his old teeth, right? Getting to
That's
Jefferson,
all you want.
and getting his teeth. But he also exposes that Darl is like hysterically laughing when he gets into the wagon. Okay. So Darl will just burst into laughter.
Wasn't he laughing at Jewel?
Yeah, he's laughing. There's various reasons we get inside his head of why he's laughing. But I also want y'all to know that this is foreshadowing too of a buildup, and also kind of laughter is kind of a trope for when you see like villains, right? The way they cackle or laugh. We have insanity kind of breaking through here. Yeah. So again, it's not just like a normal little giggle. I mean, this guy is cackling and laughing. And it's going to happen often. Okay. So that's our first evidence that Anne sees it, and he talks about how it's not the first time, right? And then he's talking about his teeth. Okay. Then we have Darl, and he's talking about the Hope Church. Sorry, I think I said New Hope. Hope Church, 3 miles. So again, that could be the option for them to bury Addie. All of this could be avoided. This entire odyssey could come to an end if they just buried her. And we know, y'all, again, we're on day 4 right now of her body decomposing, okay? So we also have buzzards that follow them to Samson's, right, and are actually there. Again, and Rachel talks about the smell, and so does Samson there too. Okay, so they don't go, or they're not going to end up going to Hope Church. They're going to continue on their quest for Jefferson. Okay, then we have 28 again. I guess this is more where he talks about the teeth with Anne's. But y'all, this is important because it's his viewpoint on work and work ethic. On page 110, he says, "Nowhere in this sinful world can an honest, hardworking man profit. It takes them that runs the stores and towns, doing no sweating, living off of them that sweats. It ain't the hardworking man, the farmer." He really reminds me of what character by Faulkner we've already met. Someone who...
The fire burner, the arsonist.
What was his name?
It's like
Is
is it Abner?
Abner, okay? Remember, Sardi's dad, Abner, right, felt like everyone was living off of the backs of farmers, right? And they were getting nothing in return. And so those people were the landowners because he was a tenant farmer. In this case, Anne's is talking about the store owners, right? The people in town. I hope y'all are picking up on some of these intertextualities, obviously because it's the same author. So good. All right, 29, Samson. Y'all, this is a fellow farmer. This is like a neighboring farmer, okay? Samson and his wife, Rachel. Rachel's offended because they don't want to come in the house and have dinner, and they don't want to come in the house and sleep. They'd rather sleep in the barn because Samson offers them to stay the night when they realize that his bridge has indeed flooded and there's no way they're going to get across it. So instead of sending them back, he allows them or offers for them to stay the night at his barn, okay? But they refuse to go inside, and so they end up all sleeping in the barn. And it seems like they're really uncomfortable with being comfortable, right? They prefer to kind of sleep in the hay and sleep with the animals. And Rachel's offended by that. And she's also offended by the fact that Samson doesn't push harder for them to agree to bury Addie at Hope Church. Yes. And so, because of this idea of the rotting body really gets to Rachel. So Samson has a couple of lines here that are pretty good, where he's talking about women and his reaction to them. A man, it's on page 117, what he says, a man can't tell nothing about him. I lived with the same one 50 years, and I'd be darned if I can. And right before that, she's talking about how it's an outrage what they're doing to Addie's body. And then Samson says, what could be done? I says, he gives his promised word. Who's talking about him? She says. Who cares about him? She says, crying. I just wish that you and him and all men in the world that torture us alive and flout us dead, dragging us up and down the country. Now then, I say, you's upset. Don't you touch me, she says. Don't you touch me. Does this seem like a healthy marriage?
No.
No. She's crying, obviously, and she's talking about how that's all men do, is torture us alive and flout us dead.
Then why is she marrying?
I mean,
She was probably young and naive.
it's an interesting question, right? Okay, so do y'all see the binary that Faulkner's really kind of driving between men and women and the way that women felt during this time period? That's important to know. Also with Samson, we get everything about the smell. This is the first time people start noticing the smell. And he can't tell if it's his imagination or if it's really the stench of the body. Yeah,
I
Corey.
thought they noticed it earlier, but they didn't want to like speak on it. Like they're just kind of, they smelled it, but they're like, it's just something there that we don't want to talk about because my dead mom.
Yeah, I think eventually it's going to get even worse though. Yeah, this is someone from outside the family for the first time. It's on page 118, but it was still like I could smell it. And so I decided then that it wasn't smelling it, but it was just knowing it was there. Like you get fooled now and then. But when I went to the barn, I knew different. When I walked into the hallway, I saw something. It kind of hunkered up when I come in, and I thought at first it was one of them that got left. And then I saw what it was. It was a buzzard. It looked around and saw me and went down the hall, spraddle-legged, with its wings kind of hunkered out, watching me first over one shoulder and then over the other, like a bald-headed man. When it got outdoors, it begun to fly. It had to fly a long time before it ever got up in the air with its thick and heavy and full of rain like it was. Okay, so we have the buzzards that appear again. So if you're taking notes on that animal symbolism, again, buzzards are there, foreshadowing. Obviously, we already have a death, but perhaps more death. We don't know. Okay? And then, of course, 30, we've already gone over with our journal entry today. Old Dewey Dell and some of her struggles internally and perhaps what she's been going. Guys, another thing too is whenever Darl looks at Dewey Dell, she always makes references to feeling naked.
I
So
was wondering why every time I saw Dewey Dell and naked.
so she'll say so the land runs out of Darl's eyes. They swim to pinpoints. They begin at my feet and rise along my body to my face, and then my dress is gone. I sit naked on the seat above the unhurrying mules. So it could be metaphorically, though, because she feels exposed, because what does he know about her?
She's pregnant.
That she's pregnant, right? So again, that's up to y'all, how y'all feel about it, and feel free to, if you're interested, to do your own research and see what people say there, and maybe just keep it in mind as we read to see what you believe. And again, that's why I love this book, is because my perception of Darl and your perception of Darl can be two different ones, right? And they're still correct. Just like when you meet people in real life, right? Sometimes they're a cup of tea, sometimes you know things, sometimes other people don't, right? So I think it's really interesting what Faulkner does here. Okay, quickly, let's just go through these response analysis. One of those was the question up here that we did, so we just have a few of these to just get through. And then tonight you're going to be reading 31 through 35. And we'll be good.
Is it the same section summary for the paragraph too?
Yes. Okay, guys. So we already talked about in section 26, why does Darl laugh when Joel returns and why is it significant? Again, it's that contention between Joel and Darl. We haven't seen it come to a head, but it is foreshadowing Darl's insanity. Thank you. Okay, in section 27, what is the significance of Dewey Dale's and Cash's different reactions to passing? Oh, that says New Hope Church sign.
I feel like
It
it is.
is New Hope, it says New Hope.
It is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how does Cash feel about it? What does he want to do?
Cash wants to go to Jefferson, because that's where his mother wanted to be with her family, or immediate family.
Okay. Yes, he wants to do right by his mom, but he knows that the most logical thing to do is to bury her at New Hope. Okay, so Cash knows what's best, and he's like really upset by this. But he knows that Ann's is going to do what he wants, and that they'll continue to go. Obviously, Dewey Dale is pushing to get to Jefferson for her own reasons.
Stomach reason.
Number 3, we already did an entire Padlet on that yesterday, and I took some notes. You might just want to see, write C notes. And then for number 4, in section 29, why does Dewey Dale insist that Ann keeps his promise to bury Addie in Jefferson? Again, she needs to see a doctor, and the only doctor is going to be in Jefferson. And number 5, you can just write, it was our guided journal entry. You could put today's date if you want.
Miss Dustin,
Mhm.
can I ask you a very important question that could spoil part of the book?
Well, I don't want you to spoil it.
Well, I'm going to.
No!
What?
Is it really gonna spoil it?
I'll just type it in front of you. How about that?
Okay, that's good. So guys, I'm gonna pass out your section summaries, your homework for tonight. I will not be here tomorrow. So what you'll do is you'll come in, you'll have a Padlet. I'll post it at some point tomorrow. And then you'll have a short video. It'll be about 15 minutes of me going through the reading from last night. And then you'll have the rest of class to work on your homework. Over fall break, don't think it's weird because I know we've been doing 5 chapters a night. Over fall break, you only have 4. So it's 35 to 39.
That bothers me so much.
And that reason is because, y'all, chapter 40 is Addie. We get to hear her. And it's amazing. And I don't want us to be chilling over break,
Yeah.
but not really
Is she dead and we get to hear her?
we'll just
She's
wait.
dead.
Don't just wait, okay? But okay?
She's buried alive.
So again, I want us to just really save it until we can come together and really cherish it.
Can I
These
read it?
discussions, you know.
Can I read it with you in the class?
Yeah, we'll see if we can read it out. Yes.
I knew it. I'm right.
Okay. All right, guys, so I'm gonna pass this out. So, Peyton, for you and Jalea tomorrow, y'all don't need to come to class, because I have a substitute. So, y'all will just get the Google Class stuff done on your own time. There'll be a Padlet, again, a video for you to watch, and then your homework will be due after fall break.
Okay.
Okay, so let Jalea know that too. So y'all can just do it on your own time. You don't need to log into Zoom.
Okay, I will.
Okay, all right, girlfriend. Well, have a great fall break, and I will see you later.
Thank you, you too.
All right,
Bye.
bye.